Tonight's episode is called Blood is Thicker Than Water and Semen is Thicker Than Both. So stay tuned if you want to hear some juicy tea related to Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. If somebody had a counter, like, let me know how many times I said semen in this fucking video. But anyway.
Don't do it to me. Oh, no, no. Oh, no, no. Don't do it to me. Oh, no, no. Oh, no, no.
Hey, what's up, you guys? Welcome to my channel. This is SpiritualiTEA, and I'm your host, Bella. Tonight's episode is called, it's actually a quote, "Blood is thicker than water, but semen is thicker than both." When I first heard that, I was like, wow. The accuracy. It's sad though, but it's like facts. Definitely facts. So anyways, Miss Karlie Redd was on a trip with most of the cast from Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. Well, not most, because there's a lot of them motherfuckers, but it was a few of them there. So she was discussing with her friends how she does not like her daughter's boyfriend of 3 years. And they quickly chimed in to let us know, like, honey, don't let your daughter know, because she will most definitely choose her boyfriend, because what? Blood is thicker than water and semen is thicker than both. And when I thought about it, I realized how true and sad that it actually is. So I'm going to keep this short and sweet, but one instance where I could relate was when a friend of mine of over 10 years had more leniency for her semen than she did over our water turned blood. You know what I'm saying? Because over 10 years of friendship is kind of like rare. You know, like if you're friends from middle school to past like to your mid-20s, that's rare. You know what I'm saying? But you know, you outgrow people, and we definitely outgrew each other. But it is what it is. No love lost. Sis and I had bonded over the fact that we had ambitions that were greater than becoming the mother of a child to a man who did not marry us and promise to provide any type of like lifestyle for us. So pretty much, sis and I bonded over the fact that we did not want to become baby mamas. We had other things in common, of course, but we also had that stance, so that made it kind of awkward for me when sis broke the news to me that she was becoming a baby mama. So I guess because we were friends for such a long time, sis thought that I would overlook my opinion on the matter and be in support of her, which eventually I did. But it's just like she expected that from like the exact moment that she told me. And I just didn't have it for her then because honestly, I was disappointed. Obviously, but you know, she convinced herself that it was jealousy. I guess that made her feel better. But you know, like I said, that same day I came around and I was like, all right, you know, like she's so happy about it, and you know, apparently he's here right now and he's happy about it. So it's like, even though they're not married, he seems to be like he wants to stick around. So I guess that's good. Even though I know, like me and sis discussed multiple times that she wanted to be married before she had children, and she even let him know this, but he let her know that he was ready for a baby, and guess who got what they want first? So anyways, fast forward, we fell off. Like we literally like just grew apart because, like I said, sis convinced herself that I was, you know, jealous, I guess, of her starting a family because I was single, but I was like in my mid-20s and I was living my best life and I was going out and I was having fun and I was looking good. And, you know, I wasn't thinking about being nobody's mother at that time. So, no, I wasn't jealous, but I wanted more for her. I wanted more for her than she wanted for herself. Oftentimes, this is how we fall out with people when we want better for them than they want for themselves because they are not ready to step into the role that we imagine them to be. And we see their potential so much, but they don't even see it. So, anywho, I don't know what's become of their relationship because I don't keep up with this. Like, I'm not like being nosy in her life. I'm too busy invested in mine. Anyways, yeah, all that to say that I was her friend for over 10 years. And when that happened, her family started to like distance themselves from me and throw shade at me on Facebook and stuff like that to the point where I created a whole new Facebook and I became Bella because, you know, I wasn't born Bella, but that's been my name for over 10 years. So that was meant to happen, and there's no hard feelings, you know what I'm saying? I do hope sis gets that ring because she's worth it, and she's been worth it. She should have been had it if she don't already. Not my business though, so let me talk about, none of this shit is my business actually, but I'm still gonna talk about it. But you know, that's my truth, and I was involved in part of that, so you know, I can speak on that at least. Sis actually apologized to me 2 years after the fallout, but by then I feel like a lot of time had passed and we was on two completely different paths. You know, she had her family and I was still single and like traveling and building, you know, working on my success and growing. So it never like came back together again. But also the guy that she had her child with had another child before that while they were in a relationship. So yes, he had a child outside of their relationship. And he was forgiven in like 2-3 months. And her family just took him back with like open arms. Nobody had anything to say, and she has brothers, so I would have expected them to feel some type of way about how he treated their sister, but he just came back around after no time at all, like nothing ever happened. But me, everyone just like shunned me for being jealous because I didn't do a backflip when Shorty said she was, you know, becoming his baby mama instead of his wife. And semen is thicker than, you know, water. Well, this instance involves semen being thicker than blood in the worst form because it still haunts this girl to this day. We're talking about Omeretta the Great from Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. She's a newbie to this season. Sister's story is heartbreaking, but it's clear for her to see like where her demons come from, and like she's still fighting them because her mother will not take accountability for making semen thicker than blood. Sis feels upset about the fact that her mother neglected her and her siblings to chase behind an abusive man. And according to her mom, that was not something that she did. And sis is adamant that she's traumatized, like, because when you choose a nigga, but particularly dick, over your own blood, your daughter, your flesh and blood, like, I feel like people need to realize the influence that their relationship or the impact that their relationships have on their children and how they are raised and how they need to choose the best potential person to help their children become the best potential people that they could be. A lot of women prioritize a man, however ain't shit he is or may be, over their well-being or the well-being of their family or friends. The relationship that you have does have an impact on the way the world sees you. Because if you're allowing someone to disrespect you and then you're trying to assert yourself over other people, it's like, honey, why don't you put your foot down with that nigga? And that is exactly what your daughter be thinking. She's straight put you in your place and let you know, like, you try to convince the world that you're such a boss. But in reality, you out here putting a nigga before your kids. And her mother just could not believe that that's what she said out her mouth. She meant it because I felt it. Like, she said it like she was kind of screaming. She was like really emotional when she said it. And it's because like she has emotional trauma of neglect from that. I mean, sis wouldn't be where she is without, you know, her mother's neglect and her father being shot and killed when she was, I think, 1 or something like that. Because without test, there can be no testimony, you know? And she uses her pain in her music. She even wrote a diss track for her mother. Like, that's how sis chose to, like, deal with her pain. Like, she chose to transmute her pain by turning it into a passion. Her mother did not like that. Her mother do not like her truth, and she keeps trying to hide it and sweep it under the rug. It is not making Omeretta want to see her mother in any better of a light because her mother will not take accountability or own up for the fact that her daughter feels like she chose a man over her. Like, just apologize for it and try to move forward. She wants to pretend like none of that stuff ever happened. And she wants to just move forward with her life and have a good relationship with her daughter as her best friend. And it's like, you weren't a mother when I needed you to be, and you think I want to choose you as a friend? Omeretta was not trying to have it. Like, she was not trying to hear it. eventually they end up, you know, like making amends. Her mother apologizes, as she should have. It took too many episodes for her to do that. Like, just acknowledge what you did and accept it. But, you know, better late than never. So her mom eventually came around and apologized for her, you know, for how she raised her daughter essentially, and, you know, and they made amends. So that's it for tonight's episode, you guys. Let me know what you think about it down in the comment section. I appreciate you being here. Peace and be blessed.